Hello, and welcome back to the We Don't Wanna podcast. This is a show where two certified dipshits make uncertified takes about your favorite series. We are your hosts. I am Zach, and joining me as always, can't be a very good swordsman because he's been stabbing Renly for years, and he's still not dead. It is Scotty Westside.
He just won't die.
He just won't die. You stab him over and over.
I stabbed him so many times. I am the best swordsman, I'll have you know. It's truly an art form. When your sword is so small, you truly have to make it an art, if you know what I mean. You have to have some talent.
You have to flow like water, right?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. Water dancer. I'm basically Serial Pharrell, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You trying to say that Serial Pharrell has a small dick?
I mean, no, I don't want to say that.
He doesn't look like
he
has a above average.
You never know. I don't like to theorize about the size of men's wieners too much. That's a lie. It's all I do. But I like Sirio enough to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's put it that way. Yeah. He's pretty great. Now that we're done discussing,
are we ever gonna have an intro that YouTube is okay with?
Never. We really know how to start our episodes with a bang. Just
Ayo.
Dick jokes to right off the bat. I mean, this if this isn't on brand for us,
straight off the tip, you know.
Straight off the tip. I don't know what is. How are you doing this week, pal?
I'm good, man. I've been watching a lot of baseball, getting real frustrated because the Astros are not playing nearly as well as they should be. I have been this is kind of in the same realm of our content here. I have been watching that show, The Last Kingdom.
Yeah. I think you mentioned you were starting it on one of our episodes.
Yeah. I finished season 2. I'm impressed. I think it's fun.
How many seasons are there out?
I think there's 5.
Oh shit! Right, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, 4 or 5. And I am enjoying it. I mean, there's
this show is 5 seasons deep, and I've not heard of it until a month ago.
I had heard about it a couple, maybe a year or 2 ago. And I'm honestly not too into the Norse, I guess just the whole Viking idea.
Yeah, I'm not either, except until the Northmen, apparently.
Until the Northmen. I'm not lying. My hype for this movie, I was I need my fix. I'm gonna start the show.
You're gonna start playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla next.
Probably not. I don't like those games.
Fair enough. But it's good. You're enjoying it then.
Yeah. I am enjoying it. If anybody out there is a fan, I guess kudos. If you're not watching it, maybe you should try it out. It's not quite as robust in the characters as Game of Thrones is.
Sure.
So if that is your speed and you need something that rich, I would say, in storytelling, it's maybe a little soft on that, but it is shot really well. It's a fun story. Our protagonist is really fun, and
that's good.
He does have a couple of really, really enjoyable side characters too. So
okay, that would be the main thing is I have to have enjoyable characters. My boy Floyd, shouts to Floyd, I'm sure he's watching, has been after me to start watching it for several weeks now, and every week I tell him, I'm starting it on my days off. I'm definitely starting it.
I've got to tell you, man.
I'm sorry,
there's a priest named Bayoka, Father Bayoka. He probably is the best character in the show.
Okay.
He's so fun, and for everybody else out there who is a fan, Leo Fritsch is amazing.
Totally.
There are some super enjoyable characters, so I do think on that front you'll get attached to some good character building and just fun interactions. So start it. Let me know what you think.
I definitely intend to. Like I said, I have not gotten my lazy ass around to doing it yet.
That's fair. That's fair. How are you doing though, man? How's your week been?
Better. Last week you gave me shit because my Rockies had just been swept in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Well, joke's on you now because your Astros suck and we just swept.
Suck
the
is
team.
a strong word.
Listen, you said they suck, so I'm just gonna ride that. The Rockies swept this weekend. The Reds. It's hard to count the Reds
dude,
because
3-11.
it's the Reds. Yeah,
3-11 right
if
now.
there are any Reds fans out there, I apologize because your team just is a mess, and that seems like a rough situation.
Dude.
So bless you, God bless you if you are a Reds fan. You need it.
Yeah. There's this short clip of I think it's a GM. It could be. It could even be the owner. Have you seen this?
Exactly the one you're
he's
talking
basically
about.
saying this is at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
hey,
We've
have
got
faith in your Reds. They're gonna be
good
this
baseball
year.
team. Yep.
Dude, they're 3-11.
That's like
Yikes.
That's like smash cut to the Curb Your Enthusiasm end credits. Like you can just go straight. Bam, 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 bam,
Directed by Dick Wolf.
Sorry out there to the Reds fans. Aside from that, Zach, I have been actually shockingly doing some work for the pod.
Not true. Don't believe it.
You didn't believe it for the longest time. I told you that I was keeping stats for who be thrown in, and that I would keep us informed and updated. And I intended to do it at the end of season 1 or at the start of season 2. And I'm only 4 episodes late. But I did catch up with updating that list. Okay. So I thought before it is obsolete when we do it here at the end of the episode, I thought it would be fun to take a quick minute. I have all the statistics tabulated. Let me pull it up here. Boom. Ooh, I better make this bigger because that is tough to read.
Yeah, you'll have to send me a JPEG of this.
Yeah.
So I can put it up on the socials.
I can cover our faces. Nobody needs to see us. There we go. Oof. Boom,
so
boom.
we're now the only Game of Thrones podcast YouTube show that is gonna be showing you Excel spreadsheets.
Excel spreadsheets.
So exactly. I guess that's a thing.
Boom. Okay. So just a quick few interesting. We don't have to spend all day pouring over this, but just a few interesting things I thought. Okay, so we are 13 episodes in with 5 spots. So that's what, 65 total. No, I didn't do that math right at all. Math is hard. 33. No, I did do it right.
14 times 5?
No, 13 times 5.
65.
Okay, boom. Listen.
Look at you, guy.
I should have had faith in myself. Out of 65 total positions, we've only had 25 characters make it on the Thronen list. Thanks to his insane hot streak of 6 straight first places, Bobby B is leading with 30 total points, aggregate points, of course. 5 points for a first place finish, 4 for second, etc., etc. Coming up close on him, probably passing him this episode would be my guess, is going to be Tyrion, 27. Yeah. Cersei and Robb a little bit ways behind. There's kind of a gap.
So let me understand this correctly, because the way that you and I share screen on this is it's a little small. It's hard for me to see.
It's probably hard for everyone to see.
Well, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube and it's full screen, I mean, it's probably a little bit easier. But either way, so you have a column for how many times they've come in first, second, third, fourth, or fifth.
So yeah, this is
and
first,
then you've also
second,
just have a total number of appearances.
There's total appearances, and then this, what I have is sorted by is total points. Like I said,
is that how you're ranking them?
Yes,
in order by points. Okay.
So Tyrion
I like this. I mean, hey, dude, I'm not a numbers guy and I'm not a spreadsheets guy, but this is cool.
I am kind of halfway there. I'm just bad at them, so that's why this took me so long. Tyrion has the most appearances on the throne, and he has appeared 8.
Tyrion does?
Yes. Tyrion has appeared 8 out of 13 episodes.
Okay.
I think a couple weeks ago, I said Arya has got to be close up there. I was way off. She has actually only appeared 3 times, which shocks me.
Wow.
The longest streak on the list is, of course, Bobby B as well at 6. But both Robb and Tyrion also have a streak of 4 consecutive weeks. So
Gotcha.
Some
So what's the
interesting
point
stuff.
differential between Bobby B and Tyrion?
Only 3 points. Bobby B has 30 total points thanks to his 6 first place finishes.
Gotcha.
Tyrion
Okay.
has 27 points. No one's ever going to beat Bobby's points per game, basically, because he made 6 appearances and he got his first all 6 times.
Yeah, wow, Jesus.
So yeah, just a fun little thing. Like I said, we don't have to go into it super. We'll put this up on the Twitter and the Instagram or whatever. It's fun. We'll check back in periodically with it. I don't intend to make it a daily thing.
During the week, Scotty, you sent me a picture that had like 12 different bar graphs.
Yeah. This is
and I was a little terrified.
Yeah,
if I'm
this
being
is
honest.
a way more simplified.
Okay, so this is all of that
version.
just in one spot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's who be thrown in the statistics, as they say.
Okay.
Like I said, I think Tyrion's gonna take that number 1 spot.
So this
very
is like okay, so like if who be thrown in is like let's say how do we relate this to sports? Like
a
player of the
most valuable
week.
player.
This is like the Sports Center like stats guide.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Love it.
This is WAR.
I do like that.
This is baseball's WAR stat.
Yeah, this is the WAR. I
Of-
fucking hate that stat if I'm being honest, but
Well, you're a fool because it's a good stat. It's not perfect, but it's a good stat.
okay.
So
Well, I mean, it also has Trout with the highest WAR, and they've done ass for the past fucking forever.
that's his
years.
team, not him. Trout is
Yeah, but
incredible.
WAR is supposed to show how they affect the team play, and he has the highest.
Not exactly. I think you're misconstruing what WAR is. This is not a baseball podcast. As much as
Clearly.
we try to make it one sometimes, this is not a baseball podcast. But I will not hear you dissing Mike Trout.
I'm not
the greatest
dissing him. I like
baseball
Trout
player in the
actually a
world.
lot, and I love Ohtani.
Doesn't sound like it.
But-
Doesn't sound like it.
You know,
You're
I mean,
just mad because they're in your division and they're better than you now.
they are doing really well right
Good-
now.
good for them.
They're fun to watch,
I'm
to
a
be
fan of
honest,
the
man. I've had
Angels.
some of their games on just to have them on. They're fun to watch right now.
Well, that concludes this week's Talking Baseball.
Hey, that's an actual podcast. We probably can't say
Who's
that.
want to be baseball? I don't know. We don't want to baseball. Shall we jump into episode 14, Garden of Bones here, Zachy boy?
We probably should.
Probably
This is a
should.
Game of Thrones podcast right now, and we should
Oh,
probably get
boy.
back to talking about Game of Thrones.
Probably.
All right, so let's hit him with the quick and dirty recap. So
Hit me. Beautiful.
there's that quick and dirty.
Great.
All right, we begin
Oh, well done.
in the.
Well done. I got to give you props for that one.
We begin in the Riverlands at a Lannister camp where King Robb wins himself yet another battle. We are introduced to another player, Roose Bolton, the Lord of House Bolton, and to Lisa, who we meet in the field of battle. She's treating the wounded on the battlefield. Back at King's Landing, Joff is berating Sansa to punish her for her brother's victories in the field. Tyrion arrives and continues to display empathy and concern for Sansa. He helps her up and makes Joff look like a real piece of shit, though he didn't really need any help accomplishing that.
True.
Bronn suggests Joff needs some good ol' hanky-panky to help clear his brain.
Yeah, he does.
Joff is a real sadistic little bastard with the 2 whores that Tyrion gifted him.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Kind of bad.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't.
It could have worked. I feel like it could have worked if he didn't realize it was a gift from Tyrion.
Yeah, the theory was sound, but it did not work.
Yeah, it needs to dip his wick a little.
Yeah.
In the east, Dany's Blood Rider arrives with news of a city called Karth.
I think
set
you
out.
skipped a little bit there, buddy boy.
I did skip a little bit there. I wrote this recap, and
Zach wrote this one.
fuck
too.
me. Littlefinger arrives in the Stormlands to meet with Renly to broker a deal against their enemies. He meets Kat and realizes that she does in fact not want
Oh
a
my
rebound.
God. Shoot your shot, Littlefinger. Shoot your shot, bud.
I know your husband just died, but
But hey, just turns out I'm available.
Oh man, he tells her that they will trade Arya and Sansa for Jaime, along with delivering Ned's remains. he of course is lying about Arya because they do not have Arya.
They do not. Well, they
before
do,
I was
they
so
just
rudely
don't know it.
interrupted.
Yes,
In
I'm
the
very rude.
Dany's Blood Rider arrives with news of a city called Karth, and they set out. When they arrive, they are greeted by soldiers and, quote, the 13, which are the elders that rule Karth.
Is this me?
Yeah, this is you, buddy.
Hey, who wrote this? Arya, Gendry, Hot Pie, and the rest of the prisoners arrive at Harrenhal, a beast of a fortress, and it is in shambles, melted by dragonfire, as it turns out. The Lannisters are using Harrenhal as a base for the war. We hear Arya's list for the first time. Joffrey, Cersei, Ilyn Payne, the Hound, and the Hound. I guess I should have finished that better. Our first mention of the Brotherhood comes up in questioning and torturing prisoners. Who are the Brotherhood, Zach?
We shall have to speak
And
of
we
that.
shall have to see. Renly and Stannis meet on a little summit, little peace meeting here. But they have a conversation that goes nowhere, and we learn Stannis is in fact a ham. He was born amid salt and smoke, just like a ham.
Is he a ham?
Is he a ham? Back at Qarth, Dany and her defeated Khalasar are accepted into Qarth, thanks to Mr. Duck Sauce himself, Zaro Zohan.
Duck sauce.
It sounds like they're saying duck sauce every time, and I can't get it out of my head.
That's not in my recap. Scott
No, it's
came up with
not.
that.
I am editorializing over here. Duck Sauce invokes Sumai on their acceptance into the city, and it's never really explained what the fuck Sumai is.
It's just that he's charged with the responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, if they fuck up,
Hey,
it's on his ass.
It turns out he is charged with the responsibility for the safety of Qarth from Dany and her Khalasar. It's almost like he wrote that. At Harrenhal, Gendry is chosen for torture when Tywin Lannister arrives and puts a stop to the bullshit. Gendry is saved, and Arya is to be at Tywin's side as a cupbearer.
Yeah.
Tyrion has a late night meeting with oh my god, Lancel Lannister, aka Diet Jamie, aka Jamie Light, aka Jamie from Wish.com. Where he confronts him for sleeping with Cersei. Tyrion earns himself a new spy in Cersei's chambers as a result of this confrontation. Oh, I love this whole thing we're doing where one of us writes it and the other one just has to read it off the cuff. Stannis, the grammar Nazi, strikes again. Fewer fingernails. That was a terrible Stannis. Stannis orders Davos to deliver Melisandre to the shore for some freaky ass witch stuff, and oh boy, does she do some freaky ass witch stuff. And that is how our episode concludes with a cute little shadow baby. Just a little,
it's a
cute
boy.
little shadow baby. It's a terrifying something is what it is. What an episode.
Yeah, man.
This is a great episode.
It's like, I feel like although I enjoyed last episode,
Yeah.
it's been on a little bit of a lull, and it's definitely hitting a bit harder now.
Yes, this is, I feel like, so far, this is probably the strongest season 2 episode, off the top of my head.
I'd say so. I mean, season 1 is, I'm sorry, episode 1 of season 2 is pretty dang good, but no, yeah, you're right. This, I think more is happening here.
Yeah, I think this episode has a really good balance of a lot of the storylines. Well, so, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there right away. Daenerys, this is gonna sound just like, oh, Scott on the Daenerys hate train, but her storyline this season is boring.
Oh, yeah.
I just think her storyline is not very interesting. It's boring, and to prove that this is not just totally Daenerys hate train stuff, I think the North, like the Jon storyline, is also kind of boring this season.
It is, yeah. Until a couple episodes
Right.
from now, it's pretty soft. You're right.
So, but aside from like the East stuff, like we get a really good scene like between the Baratheons. The Harrenhal stuff is always usually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean Tywin's entrance to Harrenhal is very good.
He looks like such a fucking badass. Where do you want to start with talking about this, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, why don't we start with our two dipshits at the beginning of the episode?
I love these guys. I love these guys so much. These
R.I.P. my guys.
These are like, if I was a soldier in this situation, this would be like me and my buds. You know, this would be like me and you, just like bullshitting and like telling jokes and fucking with each other.
Yeah, and then dying.
And then probably dying. Yeah, no, definitely. I would definitely die. I love who goes there when he's like making fun of him. It's so stupid and so good.
And then he's like, no, dude, I actually do kind of think there's something there. And he's like, okay,
yeah, piss off.
You fucking think I'm an idiot.
You thought. It's so good. And of course we get the amazing, he's been stabbing Renly Baratheon for years. How good could he really be?
Oh yeah.
Which is just an all-time classic.
But we are introduced to one Roose
big characters. Roose! It was a Roose! Bolton.
Yeah, that's a great epithet for him.
Yeah.
It was a Roose Bolton.
He is kind of not fully agreeing with old King Rob.
What a sallow motherfucker, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, of course we won't execute them. You know, we can ransom a few of them and just torture the rest of them.
Yeah, he says something about flayed men are better.
Flayed men are better. Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, he's like, I like them flayed. And Rob's like, yo, that shit doesn't fly in the north. And he's like, well, we're not in the north.
We're not exactly. Yeah, listen, he's big into his technicalities. By the way, can we just agree that there is nothing hotter than a gal sawing a dude's leg off? Like,
oh, dude.
What gets the love juices flowing more than just a bloody post-battle battlefield?
Yeah, his blood is flowing and my blood is pumping, if you know what I'm saying.
I love how we get this intro into Talisa and she just owns him so hard. And he loves it. He's into it. You can tell. He's into it.
So Talisa's not in the book.
Correct. Talisa is a fully fictional character.
Right, and I am curious as to your thoughts. Like, do you enjoy Talisa and her role?
I do. It gives Rob more to do because in the books, we've probably mentioned this before, but he is not a point of view character. You only see him through Catelyn's eyes, basically.
Yeah,
and he is not in book 2 very much.
Right. Well, because Catelyn is not at his camp.
Right. I think it gives him something good to do, and it's a simplified story as compared to what happens exactly in the books. I think it's fine. I'm not mad at the change, if that's what you're asking.
And is it just because Talisa's hot as shit, or
it could be partly that she is gorgeous.
She really is fucking beautiful.
But I truly do love her for just how much she owns him. She's like, you're fighting to take the throne. You don't even know what's going to happen afterwards. And like, she owns him so hard and he's so into it, but it's a good scene.
Yeah, definitely. For those of you guys who are new to the series, and you like a little bit of history sprinkled in, just a little bit on Roose Bolton. He is the Lord of House Bolton, which is one of the larger houses in the north, and bannerman to the Starks. Their sigil is quite literally a flayed man on an X post. It's pretty hardcore, and there's always been a little bit of like bad blood.
A lot of bad blood between
the Boltons and the Starks. It runs real deep, way back since before Aegon's Conqueror bullshit.
One of the previous kings in the north basically finally brought them to heel, like conquered them and was like, you will pay fealty to me for the rest of time, basically.
Yeah, so. and before Aegon's conquest, the Boltons warred and rebelled against the Starks several times. And a lot of it actually did stem from them having kind of barbaric ways. They quite literally flay their prisoners. And stick them up in like fields of battle. It's just hardcore, man. They're disgusting.
Yeah, it is rumored that the actual skin of a previous king of the North, Stark, is still hanging in the Dreadfort, which is their seat of power.
Oh yeah, and also
to this day,
we have to say how badass
the Dreadfort.
The Dreadfort is,
pretty
dude.
Good. It's pretty good.
It's so cool.
It's pretty baller.
Yeah, just a little bit of history sprinkled in there for you guys. We don't get a lot of the Bolton lore in the show.
Yeah,
and
good stuff.
It's pretty cool.
I think Roose is a very interesting character. The guy that plays him, I cannot think of his name off the top of my head, but he does it very well. He fits that character extremely well.
Oh yeah. He's this is the guy that's also in
in Wheel of Time for
Wheel of Time.
one episode, and we were so excited about it. Definitely. Shall we move to the Storm's Land, or do you want to do the King's Landing stuff?
Let's do Stormlands, because I feel like that's kind of quick. By the way, it's Michael Mickelhatton.
Oh, I would not have remembered that. Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, King's Landing. So, Joff is a fucking asshole prick. We know this.
Yes.
That guy just sucks. I'm starting to remember all the truly terrible things Meryn does, and now that joke doesn't seem as funny anymore.
Yeah, dude, just like having Meryn's face.
Yeah. Because that dude super sucks, and then I also was remembering some stuff he does later in the series, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
Chaz is looking
He's
worse
not
and
a good
worse
guy.
by the day. But man, what a good guy Tyrion is. Coming in, has that empathy for her, that concern, saves her really. Bronn also is a true champion in the scene. When he walks in, the line I love so much, he has a lot of good lines here, but the one I love so much is where he's just like, careful now, we won't want to get blood over your pretty white cloak. Because Bronn knows, and Meryn is terrified of Bronn, you could tell. He knows if he had to fight Bronn, he would get absolutely smoked.
He get waxed, dude. Meryn Trant isn't like...
He sucks.
Yeah, no, he's just a dipshit who will do his king's bidding.
Yeah, he truly is. He is a real sack of shit. But yeah, good for Tyrion. Big win for Tyrion. Sansa is doing everything she can to keep her dignity and her... Man, just like keep her sanity. You know, she has that line of Tyrion where she tells Tyrion as she's walking out like this, she's loyal to her Joffrey, her one true love, and whatever. And Tyrion's like, you may just survive this yet if you keep, playing that toughness, if you keep playing the game that way.
Right, yeah. Right. So. And I think what's crazy too is like it can be tough to watch Sansa in the early seasons, especially on rewatch, because what she becomes. And it's almost frustrating to watch the early seasons to see her just be so naive. And I think even at this point, I would say that like she's playing to stay alive, but I don't think that she doesn't realize she's playing the game. Right. She's just doing what has been kind of showed and taught to her by people like Cersei.
She wears her courtesy, her lady courtesies, as like an armor. And it's kind of the only armor she has. I think that's something in the books her Septon would always tell her, like a lady's courtesy is her armor, basically. And she, she takes that lesson to heart, and she does follow it.
And I do love Tyrion kind of looking out for her, and then kind of being surprised that she is kind of holding to her guns. And again, although she doesn't realize the tact, I think, that is happening, Tyrion definitely sees it and is like, you might make it out of this. It's unfortunate, your situation, but you might make it out of this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Tyrion continues his amazing hot streak. I almost feel bad for poor Lancel because of how just thoroughly Tyrion just like dismantles him.
It's so bad, dude.
It's so good and so funny. I just like every single line Tyrion has in that scene with Lancel is so good. Like when he first shows up, cousin, your visits are too few. And like Lancel's, trying to be like, I'm this important night guy and you'll listen to me and all this stuff. And Tyrion is just like barely giving him the time of day, like ignoring him, and then just completely verbally bitch slaps him and turns him to his service. And it's so well done. Just chef's kiss Tyrion.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrion has been, I think, quick-witted and like just this dude can verbally joust with anybody in the show.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is the first display of like an aggression, like where he's like on the offensive.
Yes.
With this, and it's real good. It's like, dang, dude,
so
you are working this kid's ass, dude. It's
works him so hard. I love that point when he's like, "Let me go get Joffrey. He loves a good grovel."
He loves a good grovel.
And then at the end, he's like, "Oh, stand up, cousin. Have a drink with me." Oh, wait, you don't have a cup. Well, I'll see ya. It's just, man, Tyrion's great. He's so fucking cool. Anything else in King's Landing we need to go over?
No, I think that's
about it.
I do think that's about it. Let's talk about
Wish.com Jaime Lannister. That's so good. Harrenhal. Boy, does Tywin look good riding in on his armor.
Yeah, and dude, I gotta call this out. Every time I rewatch this season, I'm like, fuck, this mountain looks so weird.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can't. He's so lanky and tall.
He's different from the first season, right? This is our first
the second
recast.
Mountain.
Okay, yeah. Our first of many recasts for the mountain.
Well, there's 3 for him, right?
Is there only 3? I feel like there was 4, but you could be right. Yeah, he does look. He is super tall and lanky. Every time I rewatch the season, I forget how long Tywin is gone for. Like, he has not been in season 2 at all until this point, right?
I do think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is his first appearance in season 2, and boy, he could not have come back soon enough. It's
so this guy shouts out to the guy Ian White.
Is that the
by
name
the way?
of the
That's
second mountain.
That's the guy that plays.
Hell yeah, Ian White, you lanky ass
and
motherfucker.
his last name is spelled WHYTE. Is that how you spell white? Like
no.
No, okay.
No, that's WIGHT.
Oh, okay, all right.
But yeah, Tywin is back, and I couldn't be happier.
So the tickler, as they call him,
it's the goat in the village.
He's asking these prisoners about the Brotherhood. Do we want to go into a little bit about what the Brotherhood is, or do we want to let the show?
Let's let the show. I mean, it's not like it's a big secret, but
I guess I'm just taking myself back to the first time watching. I was very confused.
Sure. Like, okay, tell us who the Brotherhood is, Zach.
Well, I mean, it's just I almost felt like it was like lackluster. Like I thought it was this like big deal.
I see what you're saying. You were disappointed when you found out.
Yeah, just especially because like they're having this big war against the North, and this guy's priority is to question people about the Brotherhood. And like I feel like, unless, please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like there's anything that like explains why they're so concerned about that.
Not as much in the show, but basically like they're just constantly being harassed by the Brotherhood. Like they're at war with the Starks, but those are like big battles. The Brotherhood is like just constantly like harassing them and just like ambushing them and like hurting their supply lines. So it's like the Brotherhood is more of a constant annoyance as opposed to, oh, we're about to go have a big battle.
They're like the guerrilla warfare part of this.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Big time.
So the Brotherhood without banners is their full title. They're just kind of a band of vigilantes.
We saw the start of this. We actually mentioned at the end of season 1 that this would become important.
Right.
They are the remnants of the group that Ned sent out while he was sitting the Iron Throne to bring the mountain to justice.
Gotcha.
Led by, we joked, Beric Dondarrion, who would be recast. That one dude had his one shiny moment.
And he's just like this.
He's just, yeah, exactly. So yes, led by him, Lord Beric. It's his, basically him and his men that are, just basically doing constant guerrilla warfare against the Lannisters.
I have to admit, I actually did not realize that the Brotherhood was the remnants of that order.
Yeah.
Of that mission. I
you didn't
thought
know that
the
at all?
Brotherhood was something that had just kind of been around and were just
No.
an annoyance in the Riverlands.
No.
Maybe.
That's
wow,
where it
that's
started
so
with
cool.
Ned.
Hey, I mean, I learned something right there.
Bang, you're learning something new. Yeah, so the full story is, I don't know how much of this we get later on when they make a bigger impact on the show, but they had a big host, and they were ambushed by the mountain at the Ruby Ford, I believe it was, and got annihilated. Like, most of their strength was wiped out.
Gotcha.
The remaining survivors kind of melted into the woods, and that's when they started kind of carrying out their guerrilla campaign against the Lannisters in the mountain, and more men joined them as, they kind of went about they're kind of like a Robin Hood and his merry band of men type fill-in for the show.
Yeah, I mean, nobody likes the Lannisters, especially in the Riverlands, so
right, for sure.
People would be compelled to join their cause.
Yes, it's kind of a parallel to that. But cool. That's the Brotherhood without
That's
banners.
Cool. I did not know that. That's pretty neat.
Now
that
you
they're
know.
Just kind of like holding strong to, I guess, Ned's order there.
Yes.
And doing what they feel is right. So that's cool.
Definitely.
Do we want to talk about Dany? We're gonna pass that.
She's just such a petulant child, dude, and it annoys me so much. Like when she throws her little hissy fit at the gates of Karth. And I'm just like, you're kind of real dumb, because 2 seconds ago you were like, if you don't let us in, we're all gonna die. And then he's like, nah, I'm not gonna let you in. And then she goes into anger mode, and she's like, I will burn you first. And he's like, he even calls her on it, this rando dude. He's like, you just said that if we closed our gates to you, you would die, so can't say I'm too worried about it.
I'll take our chances.
I think I'm good. And it's just she's just such a angry, petulant child at times. And
we talk
I cannot
about this
stand it.
So I feel like frequently now.
Yeah.
But this is just yet another example early in this show that this is Daenerys' character. When she doesn't get what she wants, this is how she responds.
This is how she responds with, I will burn you. Yep.
Yeah, so, look, I apologize because I feel like we're making this abundantly clear about a couple things that happened down the road for people who are new to the show, but I know I've said this before, and I'm sorry for being repetitive, but it really just grinds my gears when people say things like, oh, what happens, was so out of left field, and it's like,
so wasn't.
But it wasn't, though. Were you watching the same show that we were?
Yeah.
Because
now listen, I'm on your side on this one, because that also irks me so bad, and it's just you weren't even paying attention to the show.
Yeah, no. It's just people will see what they like, and that's it. And
I do like duck sauce. Duck sauce is my boy.
Is pretty great, if we're being honest.
The Sumai thing is a total show invention and seems like a weird addition they threw in there, but whatever.
Sure.
It's fine. It's just like I said at the top, her storyline is honestly very boring, and I'm not trying to single her out, because like I said, I feel the same way about Jon's storyline this season.
I apologize because I feel like I shuffled us away from Harrenhal a little prematurely there.
No, you're right.
Tywin Lannister showing up and putting a stop to the torture.
He's it would be easy to make, and listen, I'm not trying to say Tywin is a good guy, but it would be easy to make him another bloodthirsty, tyrannical, evil ruler person. Right. But he's not. He's extremely practical. He comes in and is just these are skilled laborers. What the fuck are you idiots doing?
Yeah.
Like when that guy threatens to then like cut Arya's heart out or whatever the fuck he says. Tywin's just like, you'll do no such thing, you idiot.
Yeah. Also, this is a girl.
Also, this is a
You're
girl.
a fucking idiot.
Also, why are you doing this? And Arya's like, very good, quick-witted lie by her, by the way, where she's just like, safer to travel. And he's just like, very smart. Very smart.
Unlike my fucking dipshit.
Unlike these dipshits that I have to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just such a practical. It's so for
He's
me
pragmatic.
especially.
He understands.
It's so hard to dislike him. In fact, I just don't. I just love him.
Oh yeah. I mean, look. For the record, I don't think I've ever said this on the show, but for the record, Tywin is maybe my favorite character in this series.
It's so hard because the series has so many good characters.
It is,
but he's probably top 3 for me.
Right.
He's so great.
And I think it parallels in many ways to, you know, like people giving you shit for loving Snape so much when we're talking about Harry Potter. Because it's like, no, look, I understand he's not inherently a good person, and I'm not saying that I excuse him being a bad person, right?
He's still a dick to his son. He's a dick to Tyrion.
Right.
He's honestly a dick to Jaime too. Like # not a good father, probably.
Right.
But
he's not like an evil.
Right.
Like,
that's the thing.
Like just an inherently evil person.
He's
like,
not
this dude
Joffrey.
He's just pragmatic.
Right. Yeah.
The dude just makes sense.
Yeah.
And he gets the job done, man.
He
I mean, obviously, right now he's getting his shit pushed in this war.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Listen, the young wolf is getting some shit done.
Yeah. But yeah, Charles Dance. There's zero way that this man walks onto set as Tywin Lannister and does not just demand the respect of everybody there.
If I was working on that set and he rode up in his badass looking armor, I would just like. Whether I was acting or not, I would just bow. I would just be like, "Your worship, we are not worthy."
You're like holding the camera, like,
"Please, sir, how may I assist you? Please."
Fuck,
he's a fucking baller, and I do love him. But yeah, the Harrenhal stuff is about to get even more interesting. Coming soon, hopefully.
Goddamn, is it? So
yes. Let's talk about the Stormlands, because I think that's our last big area here we need to visit.
Yeah, Grammar Nazi Stannis and the Renly stuff. Yeah.
Okay, first off, I have to get this out of the way because this bugged me so much this episode. Marjorie's dress, big nope. Big nope from me. It's so bad. Dude, I hate it so much.
Do you remember like when you would go to, I don't know if you ever went to one of these when you were a kid, like an interactive science museum or something?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the thing where you'd put the penny?
Yeah,
and it would, like,
yes, that's what it is. And it go, yeah. Or they had those at, like, McDonald's sometimes.
Did they really?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'm old.
Weird. Yeah, you're probably just old.
I'm probably just old. Yeah, definitely one of those. I was thinking, like, light bulb, but yours is probably more accurate. That dress is a big nope for me, and I just had
especially when her introduction is that
unbelievably
hot-ass dress.
And it's not just because I want to see... Listen, I love me some Natalie Dormer, but this is not I want to see some cleavage, brother.
Sure, no. It's just an ugly dress.
It's just such a hideous dress. It's so bad. Yeah, I had to get that out of my system. I don't know what else you want to talk about.
I mean, I think the main thing here is that there is this clear. I mean, if the show hadn't been clear enough, just this clear depiction of the sheer, I guess, like just stark contrast that
Renly and Stannis
are.
Yeah.
They could not be further from each other.
Renly is easygoing, amiable. His men love him.
He's likable.
He's likable, smooth talker. Stannis doesn't have like any friends. He is rigid, unyielding. They are polar opposites of each other.
Yeah. He's a dick.
Who, Stannis? I hear he was born amidst salt and smoke.
Amidst salt and smoke? Is he a ham?
Is he a ham? That is a goated line from Renly.
That is
so good. Such a good quip.
Is he a ham?
Is he a ham? It's so good. Yeah.
So yeah, he's created his new banner, his new house sigil. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The flaming heart for this god that he kind of a little bit sort of believes in now.
I love how Renly's like, so this is why you're all in on this new religion. Okay, this makes way more sense. She's hot as hell.
yeah. He's like, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
It's so good. And Stannis is just like, I warn you. Stannis is such a loser sometimes.
Yeah. So it is at the ending of this episode that we see that Stannis's disgraceful form while he was plowing or trying to plow Melisandre actually got the job done.
It did what needed to be done. Little smoke baby, you know.
Yeah, he had a little smoke baby.
Yeah.
And that's just I have to admit, I mean, it's just a weird, uncomfortable scene.
It's a disturbing scene.
Imagine, okay, so you have this beautiful woman, right? This actress, I don't know her name. Imagine pitching this scene and being like, yeah, this is what you're going to do. Imagine that conversation. Yeah. How does that go?
Listen, to be fair, it is exactly accurate to the books.
I mean, I know, but like...
No, listen, it's a weird, awkward scene, but it also kind of like, if this is the story you're telling, you kind of just got to do it.
You kind of just do it.
You kind of just got to do it. And...
I mean, like, but her getting completely naked to do it?
Listen.
It's just weird, man. It's just weird, bro.
Like I said with Littlefinger, you shoot your shot. The thing I really want to talk about with this, we'll come back to Littlefinger in a minute, but we are starting to see the beginnings of Davos the Baller. Like, we're starting to see, like, I think we talked in an earlier episode, like, how much we love Davos, and we're not really seeing much of it yet. This is the episode where it's like, oh, Davos is cool as hell. This dude rules.
Yeah, he starts calling out Stannis.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, I might be getting a little ahead of myself.
Well,
there's a couple things that I'm thinking of in some later episodes.
No, you haven't seen that yet. That's impossible. No, he does a little bit. Like, Stannis is like, listen, I need you to be a smuggler. I need you to take this ashore. And he's very wary about it. He's not fully on board. I do like also how, Davos calls her your red woman. And, Stannis is all like, oh, she has a name. And then, a couple lines later, Davos asks him, well, what am I taking ashore? And Stannis kind of gives him a little side eye. A cheeky little bastard, Stannis here. He just kind of gives him a little side eye and he goes, your red woman. And I did like that. Also, Davos has some amazingly good lines when they're in the boat. Melisandre asks him, you seem afraid, Onion Knight. And Davos just comes back with, someone once told me the night is dark and full of terrors. And I'm like, Davos, you're so cool. I love you.
And she gives him like a, okay.
And then also...
And then she shits out a fucking demon child.
And then she shits out a demon child. But no, before that, she's talking about something like, oh, I'm a knight myself. I'm like, a warrior of light and life or something like that. And she goes off on all this bullshit. And Davos just hits her with a, well, that must be very nice for you. And it's just like, I love Davos so much. He's so good, dude.
So let's, I feel like we're going to drop a little bit more history tidbits in this episode than we usually do.
Ooh, what else? What else little bits you got for me?
Well, I was actually just going to ask you to expand on why Davos is called the Onion Knight.
Oh, sure. So, okay, during Robert's Rebellion, which is how, of course, the Targaryen rule ended. Robert Baratheon came to power. Stannis was holding Dragonstone, which is the
island off the
or was it coast. No. I'm sorry. It was Storm's End. It was Storm's End.
Okay.
He was holding Storm's End, which is the seat of House Baratheon. He was holding it for his brother, and he was under siege by the Tyrells. Randall Tarley, and the Tyrells. I believe Randall Tarley was there. Either, it doesn't matter. The Tyrells, who, basically the Knight of Flowers, Sir Loras' father, was, and all his armies were camped out, had Storm's End under siege.
They were just going to starve them out, right?
They were going to starve them out. Everyone in the fortress was starving. And Sir Davos basically was a smuggler, and he smuggled onions and some fish, I think, mostly onions, basically some food, through, like, he had a way he was like the only one who knew how to, like, navigate this blockade and the cliffs around Storm's End, and he got inside the castle, got them food, basically saved everyone in Storm's End lives, Stannis included, because they were going to starve before Ned Stark could get them to then break the siege. So he is known as the Onion Knight because Stannis knighted him for bringing them onions, basically.
Right.
But he also cut off.
I was going to say, just to show what a rigid fucker Stannis is, he
just
says, hey,
tips.
Congratulations, you're a knight.
Yes.
You get all the things that come along with being a knight, but also you did some illegal shit to help us, so you're going to give me 3 of your fingers.
Yes. Well, just the tips of 4 of his fingers.
Well, right, okay.
At the second knuckle, he cut off all 4 of his fingers, the second knuckle, the tips, just the tips of those fingers. Yes, for being a smuggler. Like Stannis says in this episode, I think, like, the good act does not wash out the bad, nor the bad the good. So, yes. It just really does tell you what kind of a guy Stannis is. And it just makes Davos, honestly, that much more, like, just his loyalty is truly impressive.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
I do love that dude. Should we touch on Littlefinger real quickly? Just...
Do we have to?
Ned erred in not supporting Renly's claim. Dude, his delivery is just undefeated. There are many who think Ned Stark.
Your impression of him is uncanny, by the way.
Thank you. He's so good. Again, big props for shooting his shot with Catelyn.
Wait,
like,
are you serious?
I brought your husband's corpse, his bones, but also
let me get that number.
Let me get them digits. But also check me out. I'm pretty cool. Catelyn not having it even a little bit.
Don't you like the way I talk?
Okay. I forgot about this line. I do have this written down. The very first thing he says, the gall of this man, the first thing he says to her when he walks in, you may have heard false reports. Like, I don't know what you heard about me, but I swear it wasn't true. I didn't betray Ned, swear to God. You may have heard false reports. He's so great. Oh my God. He's just...
What a fucking slime ball, bro.
He's my favorite character. Actually, that's not true at all.
That's
he's
not true. It better not be
For
true.
the purposes of pissing you off, he's my favorite character. Is there anything else we need to touch on?
I think we're good to move on to the who be thrown in.
Oh, guess what, Zach? Scotty did work on this too. I got brand new season 2 pictures for everybody.
Oh, dang.
Updated.
Guys, if you are still listening to the show and you're not watching, I mean, thank you for listening.
Yeah, listen.
But what the hell are you doing?
Again, only 4 episodes late to update to my season 2 pictures. Where we last left Who Be Thrown In, my fucking guy Yoren had taken the top spot. Tyrion, number 2. Renly was looking good at number 3. Balon, really Balon? At number 4. And Arya at number 5.
It's a good picture of Renly.
Right? It was
what a handsome motherfucker.
Yeah, I like his crown. I've always liked his crown. His crown is cool.
The one that's right above his picture or the one that's in his picture? Because that, like, fits perfectly, by the way. The crown is like...
Yeah, I did that. Intentional.
Okay.
The one that's in the picture, for sure. This episode might be hard. I have a lot of candidates in mind. I don't know about you.
Yeah, okay. Well, so let's first start by talking about who's coming off.
Yeah, Balon, get the fuck out of here.
Arya, also
sorry.
out.
Yeah, Arya, I love you, but you're probably out. Uh, Tyrion definitely stays. Tyrion had a great episode, I think.
Yeah, and Renly's arguable to stay up. I mean, I think
he's arguable.
I think at this point he's still up.
I think he's still in a pretty good spot. I want to throw out my dude Davos. I love Davos.
Simply out of love, or because you like his position, or
this is more of a I think he did cool things this episode more so than he's making big power moves, you know.
Sure, okay. And I think Tywin goes up as well.
I think Tywin is certainly in contention. Where you at, my dude? Tywin.
Robb is also in contention.
Robb won a big battle. He is certainly in contention. Braun had a good episode too.
He did.
Catelyn got Ned's bones back, and she's doing some. No. I was trying to make a case there, and I haven't. What about the mother of the hour herself? Proud mother of a brand new smoke baby.
I don't know, man.
Certainly a conversation to be had. Stannis, I think, would be the only other one I can think of. Anyone else?
No, I'm trying to. Oh, definitely Lancel.
You think Dany got herself into Karth? You want to consider her?
No, I don't.
Okay, never mind. Thank you for your honesty.
Dany kept herself from dying, and actually, she didn't even do it. This is on the fucking
duck sauce. Yeah, should I find a picture of duck sauce?
Or whatever the hell from duck sauce guy over there.
No, Dany, sorry, we have too many good candidates, too many legit candidates. I think Robb has to make the list.
I would agree.
He's got a new love interest.
Well, that hasn't been flushed out yet, Scott.
Hasn't been flushed out yet, but the seeds are there. The seeds are there.
The seed is strong.
Tywin is being awesome. I really want him and Davos to make the list.
Okay, let's start at the top.
I think it's Tyrion.
Tyrion,
I think
right?
It's
okay.
Tyrion.
Yeah, because I feel the same way.
Okay. Robb at 2, maybe?
I think so.
We'll throw him up there for now. You can always.
Okay, I personally don't think Melisandre makes the cut compared to everybody else. We got 2 spots left.
She has a pretty decent. Are we for sure on Renly? Because Renly's borderline for me.
Really?
Yeah. No, you're right. He's. As of this moment, I'm thinking ahead too much. As of this moment, sorry, spoilers. As of this moment, he's in a very good position. So you're probably right.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would say maybe Stannis doesn't make it.
I think you're probably right. I agree with that. Let's get rid of Stannis.
Okay.
Mel had a pretty good episode, though. Aside from just birthing a smoke demon child, her banter with Davos was top notch.
I mean, the part of it that made it really good was Davos.
That's true.
That's the part of the equation that makes pretty much all of it really good.
Yeah.
Okay. My vote, Renly at 3.
Okay. I think Tywin and Davos probably. I love Bronn in this episode.
I would say Tywin 5 and Davos above him. I guess there's a part of me that can't get out of my head that Tywin is still on his back foot. It's still on his
back foot.
Yeah.
I think it's like Tywin to save my life. I think I can live with that. I really wanted to find a way to put Bronn on there. All right, I'm with you on Mel. Goodbye, Mel.
You could argue Bronn over Tywin, and I would be open to that. Because look, I mean,
Bronn so much.
Bronn is kind of swinging a big dick right now.
He is, but it's kind of always just in the service of like any victories he really has are kind of just Tyrion's at the end of the day. That sounds unfair though. Like, I don't mean it that way. Like,
sure,
it's solely for his quips is what it would be. The rest of these have quips and are, I feel like, have more substance to what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, I'm fine with that. Actually,
okay.
I like this list.
Where we currently stand for the listeners: Tyrion at number 1, Robb Stark at number 2, Renly at 3, Davos, first appearance on the list for him, I'm pretty sure, at 4, and Tywin making his triumphant return both to the show and to Who Be Throning. Are we good? Is that good? Man, I wanted Bronn to make it, but
that's good with me, man.
I think that's the correct list. I can't, in good conscience, take off any of these guys. I don't think.
Yeah, Tyrion is on an absolute tear.
Tyrion is, like I said, one of the big things I always remember from season 2 is Tyrion goes on a Bobby Baratheon style legendary hot streak this season. He really definitely does.
And you know, it's interesting too, because like Robb is barely in this episode.
Yeah.
But still, he's just still doing so much. Yep. And he's talked about so much because of how badass he is right now.
Yep.
So he absolutely has to be there.
His impact is large. He is winning battles. Did
you just say his impact is large?
His impact is he wants to show to Lisa how big his impact can be.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Let's unwrap that.
Let's unpack how big his impact is.
Unpack.
Okay. Oh, let's unpack and unroll it. It has to be unrolled. Final list, final answer: Tyrion at 1, Robb 2, Renly 3, Davos at 4. I love Davos, and Tywin at 5. That is our list, and we are sticking to it. That means, as of right now, we have a new leader in the Who Be Throning ranks. That will put Tyrion past Robert Baratheon for total points.
We'll have to see. You know, I am actually very happy that you got that done.
Oh, thanks, buddy. You didn't believe it. You tried to tell the wonderful folks, our listeners, like, he's not keeping any. He's lying. He's full of shit. So how dare you, sir?
I mean, you usually are. Can you blame me?
True. Big true. Big true. That is Who Be Throning, and that is episode 14, Garden of Bones. A very solid episode. I like that episode. It's a good one.
I don't think any scenes really like top scene worthy, but just lots of good material. A lot to like there. Again, new introductions, which I'm always excited for.
Many good quips this episode. Like, I think I had more lines I wanted to call attention to this episode than I've had in a while.
Yeah,
like just here. that Tyrion Lancel scene alone, like, so
it's
good.
Very good.
Oh boy, good stuff.
You got anything else, pal?
No. I think that's it. Why don't you take us home, brother?
Yeah. So, as a very friendly reminder to everybody, if you're not already hanging out with us on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff, you can do that at We Don't Wanna Pod. Interact with us. We do post show updates on any other thing that we're working on. You'll see about it there, hear about it there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff that you do on YouTube's. And truly, from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate you guys so much for listening and hanging out with us. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.